Hello, and welcome back to On the Couch. We're here talking with Mrs. Trishsanna Poyah-Rasul, a counseling psychologist and parenting expert. In our last segment, we started talking about parenting and disciplining, and we defined discipline, and we differentiated discipline from punishment. And you made a point that discipline is really about teaching. It's a teaching tool. And it's so easy for us to get caught up in our day doing all the things that we have to do at work, in the traffic, coming home, dealing with our family. So when it comes to parenting in the afternoon, teaching it's something, it's the last thing on our mind.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do we need to do to be conscious and aware of discipline as a teaching moment?
Okay. So one of the things I subscribe to is conscious parenting. So conscious parenting has three basic principles, right? It is checking your self-regulation, checking your emotions at any point in time, and checking your expectations of your child. And this is a mindset that you can adopt or you can practice in order to be able to parent in a conscious manner, meaning that you're parenting with intent.
Parenting with intent. So you said the
Yes.
first one is self-regulation.
Yes.
So that is really monitoring and being aware of how I am feeling right now, my thoughts. So when I go to deal with my child, I need to ask myself, what's going on with me right now?
Yes.
Am I in a good headspace to do this? Am I really angry about something else? It's so easy to displace our anger on children.
Yes.
You know, we go through the day, we work in a hierarchy, there's always someone below us. But when we get home, all of a sudden we're at the head of the food chain. And it's easy to displace our stuff on our children.
Right, and parenting starts with you. Parenting doesn't start with the child. So the way you parent is dependent on how you are able to regulate yourself, given all the things that are happening around you. And that's the main thing. The second thing is managing your expectations of your child.
Right.
So we come into parenting having certain expectations for our children, right? And we expect these children at certain ages to know what we expect of them. But how are they going to understand what we expect of them when they don't know, when we don't convey it to them? So managing what we expect of them and managing it in a way too that says, okay, this is what is good for my child, not what I want for my child. You understand what I'm
So
saying?
communicating my expectations.
Yes.
Making sure that this is something that my child understands. Because a lot of
Yes.
times our expectations are not age appropriate.
Correct.
How do we expect a 3-year-old to sit still, for
Right.
instance? Or how do we expect a 10-year-old to completely manage their schedule?
Right.
So we want to make sure that our expectations are age appropriate.
appropriate.
And then we also want to make sure that we communicate our expectations and our children are not reading our minds.
Exactly. And it can be difficult because sometimes, again, with all the things that are happening in our lives, when we come home, we expect our children to just know what they're supposed to do.
Yes.
But how are they supposed to know what they're supposed to do when we don't tell them
Yes.
what they're supposed to do?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
the third one
Is communication and how you communicate with your child. So managing your own emotions, how you communicate your emotions to your child. Your verbal communication, are you sarcastic or are you direct to them, or are you harsh, are you aggressive, or are you calm? As well as your body language.
So
And
there's a lot of self-monitoring going on here.
definitely.
Yeah.
So this definitely says parenting starts with you. And you have to check yourself first before you even start the interaction with your child.
So we are conscious of the fact that we're teaching. We're being conscious of when we're parenting as well.
Yes.
And you also talk about catching your child when they're being good.
Yes.
Knowing how to praise your child. Why is that important?
There are different methods that we praise children. Praise is important so that they learn something, right? That's the basis of it. I'll explain it to you. There are two types of praise. There is praise that is growth dependent and praise that is fixed. So if you praise a child that does well in a test and say, oh, you're doing that's good that you do well in a test. Okay, fine. That's a good method of praising them. However, you're praising them based on their ability. You're not extending it to, okay, how can I grow from this? And then there's praise that influences growth, which is, okay, so I see that you studied hard and then you got this A, right? So that's good.
Yes. And you're being very specific as well.
Yes.
So you're recognizing the effort that they have made.
Yes, so you praise the effort and you praise the skill rather than praising the ability.
Yes.
Because when you praise the ability, it's an absolute. You either have this ability or you don't. Whereas when you praise the skill, it's on a spectrum.
That's really interesting. And that way your child could come in with a C or B and you can still praise them because you've recognized their effort. You've recognized what they've done.
Yes,
Oh,
correct.
Crucial thing here. So it's important for us to catch children being good because sometimes you only recognize children when they're doing something wrong. So children get all of this negative attention.
Yes.
So when we catch them doing something good, we want to praise them.
Yes, so they learn that, okay, if I do this good thing, I'm going to get this sort of positive attention from my parents, and it's an encouragement to continue studying, or it's an encouragement to continue practicing or doing something
To
that
being
is positive.
generous, practicing on my instrument, being kind, finishing my homework, not telling untruths. So we really want to praise and really build their esteem.
Right.
Thank you so much for this conversation. I want you to just tell us a little bit about your practice. You have a counseling agency.
Yes, so I run Serenity Counselling and Consulting with my partner, Ms. Raya Dean, and we do psychometric testing with children, which is, I think, where my study of parenting comes from, because a lot of the time when we do testing with children, we find that it's not just the children that need support, it's the parents as well. So we do psychometric testing with children, testing for learning disabilities. We also do therapy for children as well as young adults.
So we're going to put your information attached to this video. So look at the information. If you want to reach out to Serenity Counseling and Consulting, you can do that.
Yes.
But you're also going to be running a parenting support group in 2018 at Wholeness and Wellness Counseling. So look out for more information. If you want to find out more information about that parenting workshop and parenting support group, please look at the link below and check us out. Yes?
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Go forth and parent well. Take care.